pretty sure Reiki increases oxytocin, now that I think about it. Is there anyone here who has not heard of Reiki before? Has no idea what it is? Great, everyone's heard of it. So, as most of you probably know, Reiki is a kind of a mysterious yet very powerful and profound healing technique, and probably one of the most simple ones that I've learned. And I've learned a lot of different modalities, and it's the most simple and probably the most effective one that I've found. Reiki is a very ancient healing technique. It has history in Japan, in India, and Tibet. They found information about Reiki in ancient Sanskrit materials, and so there's something very universal about it, and something that is already imprinted in our ability to heal ourselves. And over time, it's something that we've just kind of forgotten, and but it can be switched on. Some of us are kind of already do Reiki without even knowing it. So I kind of want to break down the word Reiki so that you know where it comes from. The word Rei means the guiding force that permeates everything, the creative force of the universe. And Ki is the energy that permeates through all living things. So some of you, probably through John and Laura, know of the word Qi, and that's the Chinese form of it. It's also known as prana in India. So that's kind of where the word comes from, is those two put together. It's a Japanese word, and that's the lineage that I learned Reiki from. So when Reiki energy is channeled, it's literally source energy. And it's not something that we have to draw upon our own personal energy in order to access it. Reiki can be defined as a non-physical healing energy made up of life force energy that is guided by higher intelligence, or spiritually guided life force energy. This is a functional definition as it closely parallels the experience of those who practice Reiki, in that Reiki energy seems to have an intelligence of its own, flowing where it is needed in the client and creating the healing conditions necessary for the individual. So that's something that's unique to Reiki, I think, is that it does have an intelligence of its own, and it will go to the source of whatever is going on to with the person. So the person might have a knee injury, and I can be doing Reiki on someone on their knee, and they may experience pain relief in their knee, which they probably will, but Reiki will always seek to go to the very source of what the ailment is. So it could be completely unrelated. It could be something that happened in childhood years ago that has somehow filtered through their different energetic bodies to create this knee condition. So instead of just healing the knee, Reiki will work on whatever happened in your subconscious to create that condition. And because it's sort of has its own intelligence, as a practitioner, what's really cool is I don't necessarily have to know everything about what's going on with that person. Whatever needs to be healed will come up to be healed. And another really amazing, unique thing about Reiki is that me as the practitioner will almost always experience a healing while I'm giving a session to someone as well. Because Reiki is, the vibration and feeling of Reiki is very akin to pure unconditional love and compassion. The feeling of Reiki is very much just like that as it moves through me as the practitioner and the person receiving it. Some of the things that people experience in a session is usually very, very deep relaxation. because it works, for some reason, there's scientific explanations that I won't go into, but it actually raises the parasympathetic nervous system while they're receiving a Reiki session. And so the person their nervous system is actually being reset. It's resetting itself as they're having a session. So a lot of things can happen when our nervous system can actually totally relax. Things that have been wanting to be healed, but we haven't been able to literally chill out enough for it to come up to be released, often will happen. But what's wonderful about it, what I love about it, is that it's not a pushy kind of energy. So it will only heal to the level that the person is ready to experience. So, it's not going to bring up emotions that you're literally not going to be able to integrate or deal with in that moment. It's very gentle in that way. I have had people experience some emotional releases during a session. People have had memories from childhood they didn't know that they still had emotions around come up to be released. Some people even have past life memories come up to be released. But most of the time, people literally fall asleep through most of the session and often feel deeply relaxed, and usually whatever physical thing is going on does feel a lot better. And people often say that the effects will be unfolding over time. So even days afterward, the healing will still be taking place. And other things will continue to move and change just from one session. So that's what's unique about Reiki. There's a lot of physical effects that you can get from Reiki sessions. Deep relaxation is one of them. You can totally reset your nervous system. It lowers your blood pressure, and it actually can reduce, it's actually used in Kaiser Hospital and other hospitals. It's being recognized as a very effective healing modality because it can reduce tumors in cancer patients. So it's kind of a miraculous modality, and I think John said that some people were interested in learning a little bit about how to do Reiki on yourself. So there's a couple of tools I thought I could give you guys to use in your everyday life. Technically, you would need to go get the Reiki Attunements in an attunement class that opens your energy system to the Reiki energy. But that was kind of a philosophy in Reiki from years and years and years ago when it was brought to the United States. And I think that people are in general more open and are accessing healing energy anyway. So there's a handout I'll give you. Hey, will you grab these handouts with a symbol on it right there? I'll go ahead and pass it around. It's a symbol that I usually give in the Reiki 2 class, and then I'll go over the different levels of Reiki in a minute. But this is the first symbol that's given in a Reiki 1 class, and I'm going to let you guys take this home, and it's something that you can just kind of sit with it, meditate on the image, see how it feels to you. It actually shows you how to draw it on there. And it's meant for healing on the physical level. So that symbol is given to heal on the physical level. And there's other symbols that heal on the emotional and mental level, the spiritual level, and the karmic level. But in my experience, all of the symbols work on all levels. So even that symbol is going to have an effect on all your different energetic bodies. So I usually, when I'm doing Reiki on myself, I just imagine that symbol kind of in my mind's eye, because I get confused if I'm drawing it this way or that way. It's easier when you're drawing it on someone else to follow the directions, but with that I just imagine it and then I channel it through my hands to myself. So you guys can kind of, I'll have you guys kind of practice that after our Q&A. We'll do a little meditation with it, but you can kind of take a look at it and connect with it now. Another thing that I do to, before I begin a Reiki session, and you can do this trying Reiki on yourself, the prayer position, where your hands, that I'm sure you're all familiar with, you put your hands in front of your heart, and it's interesting because all the meridian points in your hands are connecting at this point. And when you're holding your thumbs against your heart, you're connecting all your meridian points to your heart. And so this in itself, it's no wonder that it's universally used in prayer and for channeling healing energy. So I usually just hold this position. I set my intention for healing that I'd like to have in myself or in the person I'm working on. And I just kind of wait until I feel the energy flow. And if you get kind of quiet, you will feel an energy begin to flow. And then from there, you can kind of just move wherever you feel moved to put hands on your body. I'll put my hands on that spot, and I'll usually will feel, it'll either get very hot or it'll start throbbing, or I'll feel some sort of sensation. It's really cool. Reiki has a lot of actual physical sensations that you can feel with it when you're channeling the Reiki energy. So a little bit about becoming a Reiki practitioner. There's 3 different levels in which it's taught, 1, 2, and 3, and they do that, or we do that, because there's attunements involved, where we actually do an energetic process on your energetic system and your body to open you to the Reiki energy to be able to use it. And if we were to give you all the attunements for all the different levels of Reiki all at once, you'd probably go into a healing crisis, or go through a major detoxification process, because the attunement process itself is a healing process. When I received my first Reiki attunement, I actually had a huge amount of release. I went through a detox process, and it actually is the thing that set me on my spiritual path when I was 18. So they break it up like that. 1, because it's a lot of information, and 2, the attunements are very powerful, and your body needs a chance to integrate it and adjust it. So in Reiki 1 is kind of an introduction to Reiki. You don't even get those symbols yet in Reiki 1. You're just kind of open to the energy of Reiki and learn how to use it for yourself and others. In Reiki 2, you actually receive all the symbols to use to channel specific energies for healing, and you also learn how to do Reiki long distance. Another really amazing thing about Reiki is that it doesn't abide by the rules of space and time. So you can do Reiki on a situation that's happened in the past, that's having an effect on someone now, or you can do Reiki on someone who's miles and miles away. And I've actually had clients tell me that the sessions that they got long distance, not actually being present for a session, was more powerful than in-person sessions. Why? I have no explanation for that, but it's really amazing. And so you learn how to do that in Reiki 2, and then Reiki 3 is the master level, in which you learn how to pass attunements to others, how to teach Reiki, if you choose to do that path. And I have a Reiki class coming up on March 13th that I'm teaching in Palo Alto, and then I'm doing another one at the end of April You can sign up on my email list if you're interested in any of those things, and my business cards are back there. I also wanted to extend an offer to the people who decided to come today. If you are interested in receiving a Reiki session and trying it, the people who come today will get one for $55. So if you're interested, you can just mention that you're here. I'll remember you. It's a personal group. Who are you again?
What's your normal rate, Joanne?
80. My normal rate is 80. So yeah. So do we have any questions before we do a little meditation and practice the Reiki?
What are the, in Palo Alto, you're teaching Reiki 1 both times, or are you doing Reiki 1 and then Reiki 2?
I'm doing Reiki 1 in Palo Alto.
That's March 13th.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
where is that?
it's at Samyama Yoga Center.
Right.
Yeah, you can just look that up or call them. And then I'm doing another one at the end of April. I don't know when yet. I kind of tend to put together Reiki classes when there's interest, and then I'll find kind of a date that works for everybody. And I'm thinking of making it, the one in April, a Reiki 1 and 2 class together. Just because over the years I've been doing it, as we know, like our energy levels are upgrading, the planet is upgrading, and we can handle more energy. So I'm kind of, and people want the information, they don't necessarily want to wait for it. So I like to be able to give people the symbols as quickly as I can. So I'm thinking of doing 1 and 2 together, and then, people don't have to wait for a Reiki 2 class.
I have a quick question. I've never seen the Reiki symbols before, but it really looks like a treble clef.
Oh yeah, it does look like a treble
I
clef.
was just wondering if that one might be.
Well, I haven't thought about it before, or I might have thought about it before and wasn't sure what to think about it. But that's a really cool correlation.
Yeah.
Gets back to music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yes, I have one more.
Yeah.
So when you're doing Reiki on yourself,
Yeah.
is it important to always do the symbols?
No, not necessarily, because people, for example, who've only had Reiki 1, they don't even have the symbols.
Okay.
I don't usually just give out the symbols,
Right.
but it's
It's a teaser.
It's a teaser, yeah, exactly. Well, no, and it's nice to have something visual.
Sure.
It helps for people to have something visual to work with, because Reiki is so kind of, it's very non-technical. And so I know some people like to just have something specific to work with. So it's kind of just more for that. So no, you don't have to use the symbol.
So you just channel a white light energy?
Yeah, I mean, you can, without having the Reiki attunements, you're just sort of channeling general healing energy for yourself. So, you can use whatever visuals you like. Like, I always do a grounding cord, like a white light grounding cord to get myself grounded, and then just kind of fill myself with light. And then there's other kanji hand positions too, that I do it and literally it just starts flowing in. Like my hands will get hot, my body will get hot. But the more I do it, the more that actually increases. It's almost like my body's like, oh yeah, I know what that is. And it sort of starts happening quicker. Sometimes it'll start happening when I'm not even intending to. It's just like happening like when I'm giving someone a hug who needs healing. It's almost like it's become a being or something that's like with me. It just kind of like jumps in when it feels it needs to.
Yeah.
Which is something it's something unique to Reiki, I think, and I'm sure John experiences that too. Like, he goes right to somebody who needs healing and starts, it just like flows through them, and which anybody can do. So, yeah, whatever kind of works for you. And I have ideas for someone if they never done healing work on themselves or something, just to get it flowing. Yeah. So you guys want to do a quick little self-healing meditation? Okay. So everyone close their eyes, put their feet flat on the floor. And you can kind of put your hands together in front of your heart. I like to feel my thumbs actually touching my sternum. And just take a couple of deep breaths and think of an intention of any kind of healing you would like for yourself right now. And like we did in the beginning, just sort of connect with that heart energy, that light in there, and sending some breath into your heart. You can just wait to feel that energy flowing through your hands, however subtle it may be. And then from there you can either open